So it is currently day 169 of old year 1116. You are on the desert moon of Karth, far out on the edge of the Vinfall solar system in Nirvana sector. Karth is a little desert moon. It orbits the second gas giant in Vinfall. It's far out away from the other planets, named Tabernas. And tonight, the crew captain is Niall. Niall, what happened last time? Oh boy.
Well, we. Oh, man, let me open my notes. We decided to bring the people that we rescued from the mine back to their place, and it was a long trip across the desert with a vague destination known and not much else to navigate off of. But we were able to locate what we could tell was the correct location, and I'm blanking the name. The Silver Spire. We found the Silver Spire, and we found a weird, almost utopian but still dystopic place with a ruined tower that had been missing the top few floors, with bizarre construction, with concentric rings of irrigation ditches, and just freely. It's a very strange kind of commune, with like open living spaces, but we offered assistance and were given a job to go find some technology by which to repair some of their own technology, which seemingly puts us in conflict with our previous commission with the dock back in town in Larsville. And that's where we are, getting ready to head out and head to these ruins to find the technology that we need.
Yeah, the Dr. Fayed asked for the main component, repair component for a that would elevate the tech level of a centrifuge, and she basically wants the same thing. And she's offered you additional old tech. You gained her trust, and also a red crystal, ancient, powerful tech, which can, with 100% certainty, tell if somebody's lying, basically, under the right circumstances. By offering up a few of your livers.
And what a decision that was.
Livers, kidneys. They're still using those livers.
You need your liver.
They would not have. They would not have parted with those.
I don't know why I said that. You need at least most of your liver. You need at least most of
part of it.
Yeah.
I have a question, Ross. So, Doc Fayed made it out like this is going to be, if we were to give these parts to him, probably necessary for public health in Larstown. Otherwise, things are going to get real ugly pretty soon. Uglier than they already are. Did we get the same kind of sense that might be the situation that these folks are facing in Silver Spire? Or, like, is their situation desperate without this?
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say whether it's on a spectrum of desperate to well off. It's just weird. It's perpendicular to that. And there is something weird going on with the normal people down at the base that do not have the desert thing called a head covering with the like digital stuff, and yeah, they don't have those. The people outside of the tower down below in the huts don't have those, and they all have like a blue tint to their skin. They all seem emaciated, but they look very different than everybody in Karth. To be honest, many of the people in Karth, some of them do have a blue tint to their skin, but most of them actually, in all honesty, look how a lot of people look on a lot of these like Class E starport type worlds out in the Nirvana sector. But yes, they are also sick, and many of them are seem to be addicted to this, drug that's made out of the bones of aliens. Yeah, no, it's different there, to answer your question. Okay, so here you are at this Silver Spire. Let me back us. And you got 2 days. So on the 171st day of Old Year 1116, 2 of the people that you rescued promised to rejoin you. So what you can do is you can go into there's like a communal place with mats where everybody sleeps. You can go there and you can hang out, or you can go and look at a couple of the other huts. You can throw a couple of them out if you want to walk around, talk to people, sneak around. Is there anything within 2 days that you all would like to do? And with that, I'll toss it over to Niall to organize the group and see what you all want to do.
I know there was a couple locations that were mentioned already that people wanted to check out. Does anyone recall what those are?
There was I think we had, I don't know if it was a gunsmith kind of towards the north of the village, one of those huts almost on the...
Like a foundry or something like that?
Yeah, I think maybe it was something like that, that they were kind of like, as far as these exotic looking rifles were, I think there was some indication.
There was that and a tattoo shop that they pointed us to as well.
Yeah, that was the one I was trying to recall, was the tattoo shop was the other interesting place.
You want to go see the tattooist?
Does anyone have any interest in going there?
Do you guys?
I mean,
we can check it out. There's nothing there. We can just move on.
All right.
like a souvenir.
This will kind of represent your first day, okay? So you go to a cluster of these things, and there is a small crowd of people around here. These emaciated people with like loincloths and a blue-tinted skin, and they all have that sun symbol tattooed onto their necks, and they're looking in to a hut. One of them seems to be like a man and a woman, and they're holding each other, and the woman is crying, but she's smiling. You look into the hut, and you can see old-fashioned Tech Level 5 tattoo gun. Somebody's got ink. They're driving it into the skin permanently of a small child who looks a bit terrified, is also having a sun tattooed on their neck. It's clear that these 2 people looking into the hut at the front of the crowd are their parents. They're just beaming proudly.
Important day.
They you go up to the front of the crowd and you ask them that?
Yeah.
The man looks at you a little bit alarmed. Says, "Oh, you're from Larstown."
We're from someplace else. We are helping the, oh gosh, what was, does anyone remember the name of the leader?
Nope. Did not write that one down.
Yeah, same. I forget the name.
Everybody says that in character. He says, "You mean
Dawn Seeker,
one of the Dawn Seekers?"
Yeah,
you mean Dawn Seeker Reyna?
Reyna.
It's saying it out loud. People mutter, and he says, "So you have come also to donate part of your life essence, to give part of who you are to the Dawn Seekers who seek the eternal sun."
Some of these guys already did that. They donated a big hunk of life essence.
Yeah, still considering that.
Where are your tattoos?
We have not made such commitments at this time.
Atman just starts showing off all of these tattoos from when he was in the army, and before that when he was like an urchin on a city planet. And
he says that this is a joyous day. We are blessed by the eternal and singular holy sun in the sky. Beyond this forsaken place, the true and one sun. That the people of Larstown are and beyond the stars are beginning to see the truth as well. Welcome, brother. They assume that you're going to get these tattoos now, since you've given part of your body, Dawn Seekers.
Now, we heard that the tattoos had other properties, right? Something was it? It wasn't something psionic, but or something else about like having a tattoo meant something else, right? Remember, like
I think it was just we were part of the Dawn Seeker. That's how we were asking how to join, and they towards.
I'll get a tattoo.
Oh man. Oh, they celebrate and they pat you on the back and you get 100 blessings from these strangers after the child's tattoo is complete, and Chapman, no, I'm sorry, not Chapman, Books you have to get down like on your knees, and you realize this whole thing takes on a kind of ritualistic form as she begins to take the tattoo needle to your neck.
Oh, did you clean that needle?
Did they do anything other than sunbursts? Like
the tattooist frowns this, and even at the suggestion like that she says, "This needle has been passed on from generation to generation. It can never be cleaned because it is sacred and holy."
All right, good luck, Books.
Yeah, that scares me. That scares me a little bit.
See here.
I belong to the cult of hygiene.
Books, could you please roll under your what stat would this be? This would be endurance and a D5, please.
I'm sorry, what about a D5?
If you could roll 1d5 and also 2d6 to get under your endurance. 2 separate rolls.
So 6. So that one's good. My endurance is 9.
Okay.
Oh, you said 1d5?
1d, yeah, a d5, yeah.
Okay.
You'll have to type it in, probably.
I actually have a d5 here at my desk.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Which one it is. Dungeon Crawl Classics comes in handy.
This is charcoal, by the way, on hand. Just a filthy, nasty person that... even if I am that, this is charcoal. I was grilling earlier.
Unrelated.
Unrelated.
I got a 2.
That's what I always say when someone's like, "Are you crazy?" I'll be like, "That's not related right now. Let's stay on task." You got a 2, okay. see what happens.
Where are my Xochi dice? Not that I need them, but...
You got a 2?
Yes, on the D5.
This is where it gets a little bit mothership around here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, there was definitely mention of some sort of like giving up something or another.
See,
Wait, what?
Russ is making us think the
Now
Books
you're
is about
saying
to panic.
This is
Actually,
what I was
there's
asking
gonna
about
be-
before, but then you volunteered.
There's gonna be a chest burster out of nowhere.
So, all of a sudden, the woman starts to scream, and you look back, and this is as the sun is almost finished on Books's neck. Just one of its prongs is not completed, just one. And just as it's about to be completed, the woman starts to scream. You all look, and several people in this crowd, a bunch of them, start bleeding. Their eyes have turned black, and they start bleeding profusely from their eye sockets. And they drop to their knees, clutching their eyes. And this, of course, causes other people in the crowd to scream as well. And at the same time, Books, you do begin to bleed from your nose. You have seen this kind of thing before. Well, twice now, because I think that Radamant bled from his nose when you all came in here. You also have seen this years ago on another planet. But anyways, a voice enters your mind, and it says, "Please, help me. Please. The pain, the cruelty, so long. Please help me." And yeah, this like just chaos, panic starts here. Some of the Dawn Guard come out and start questioning people, and asking questions, and some people are dragging people whose eyes have turned black and they've clearly died, and they're dragging the blood coming out of their nose and eyes and stuff. They're dragging them back to their huts and stuff.
I'm gonna go to Books, and I'm gonna check in on him. Be like, "Hey, bud, how you feeling? You all right over there?"
Well, first, before I address Chapman, I'm gonna talk to the voice in my head, or like think this thought. I don't know if it will work, but I'm just gonna say to the voice, like, "Hey, like, chill out for now. There's a lot of people around. We could talk later, and I'll see what I can do. But like, just go away for now until we're alone." And then to Chapman, I'm gonna kind of hold up my head so he could see the blood kind of coming out of my nose, and point to it and be like, "Well, this happened, but besides from that, and what I'm pretty sure is the beginning of a mild heart attack, I'm okay."
Okay.
Do you finish the tattoo, or do they?
No, show's over. No more tattoos. We are going back to wherever it is that we're staying. And I don't want to stick around here longer. This place is cursed. You can see everyone here is cursed. Books is now probably permanently cursed.
Yep. and just to be clear, I wasn't not literally having a heart attack, but just the seeing everybody around me that
Have not yet ruled that out. We're gonna have the doctor check in to see.
You can hear some of the things that the crowd are saying. They say, "We knew this would happen. We knew that it would anger the great and holy single sun far away when they gathered their armies. We knew." And then somebody else is like, "No, we have to trust the Dawn Seekers. This is blasphemy. We must trust them." And somebody else is like, "We haven't been following the path for some time." You hear them, like, basically you hear verbal discord in the open between people. And other people are saying, like this is a curse for their sins from the one holy eternal Son. And yeah. And now, Books, you have a tattoo. It's black. It's on your neck. It's like that big. It's missing one ray.
That's fine. I think it's actually cooler that it's not like all the other ones. Like it has its own, because that's a story right there. People are gonna look at that and they're gonna think that's a story, or like, I mean, I'm gonna have a story to tell. But also, if I run into any of the other people with the same tattoo, I could lie and say that means I'm like extra special. Like I'm only the really special people get this tattoo. So it's perfect. I love it.
Okay, so a day passes. We'll skip ahead to the second day here. And so it's now 170. Day 170. And that next day, that range that you were going to look at is now crowded. And there's a ton of people at it. And you can hear a lot of the rifle cracking sounds. And there are clearly formations of people in armor and that have those weapons. There are dozens of them out on the edge of this settlement.
Do we still want to inspect it, or is someone against that notion? Or at least try to get a idea of what's going on. Okay. Yeah, we'll go. We'll kind of move until you start getting hearing people talking, or we get a better view of what's going on.
Okay. Go up to the range. It's at the edge of the settlement, and it's definitely a firing range, like what you would have seen back in the Third Imperium military when you did your basic weapon qualifications. And they're firing at static targets. Static targets are silhouettes that have the shape of a flat brim hat, like a Smokey the Bear hat. And otherwise, they're like a human silhouette. And there's like a bunch of them lined up, and they're firing at that. And this is operating in every way like a range. You get the sense that given their tribal culture, this is a sacred tribal knowledge, like the ability to do a range safety, like all the range safety mechanisms. This is like knowledge that has been passed down and given to these Dawn Guards generation after generation.
Interesting.
There are a group of air rifles stacked neatly in the corner. There are...
I have an idea. I have an idea.
I'm all ears.
So,
Do you want to flip some air rifles into a bag, like oops?
There are 10 of them that are stacked with 2 guards. You also see a group in formation. They're receiving a stirring speech about the holy cause of the single one true Son that is now far away. They are not forgotten, and that what happened yesterday was a sign that they must act, and they will bring justice to those who have opposed the Dawn Seekers.
So, we got the impression these folks were many generations ago crash landed from the Imperium, right? That's where, I mean, it's not a coincidence they all said
the big assumption that we made, yeah.
Yeah. So, and now this is like the distillation of all of their Imperium and Imperium military culture now has like become just part of their heritage here. The original context stripped away and is turned into this sacred thing. Which sounds to me a lot like what the Bene Gesserit did with the Fremen on Dune. And when Paul just knows how to wear a still suit. We can just know how to do the firing range like perfectly. Like just everybody do your basic like drill training and everything from when you were in the military. We can just show off all of that basic knowledge and then it'll be like, oh yeah, we just know. These outsiders somehow just know how to do all these things over culture.
Yeah. I mean, if they'd let us fire these rifles, I'd absolutely be down. I've been wanting to get a closer look at the technology, because when you described the rifles earlier, you said there's like no moving parts. There's like solid pieces, and so that's been interesting to know, because that seems like very like future tech, like
Yeah.
higher tech level. So
It's a caseless mass driver. So this is something that's very far future tech.
But yeah, if I like your idea, Chapman. If we could, I don't know, secure a space at the range to start doing our own drills.
Well, they're going to stop you. However, if you tell them like, hey, we can show you how to do things, you could either attempt a rifle check to show them, or someone can attempt a leadership check, and you'll need to tell me like the specifics of that check. The rifle check, you just add the bonus to your and dexterity to your. I'm sorry, tactics is the other one I'm thinking of. But
tactics,
if somebody has tactics, you gotta tell me. You probably want to add these bonuses, like somebody mentioned that. Add that on your sheet.
I have tactics and rifle, so rifle 4, tactics 1, rifle 4.
I have tactics 1, rifle 1, I think. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, now you want to. Which one would you like to try, and how do you pitch this to them, like that you're going to try to teach them the true roots of this ancient doctrine that they've kept alive for so long?
Let's see.
If it's, well, actually, I will say, if you use your weapon, it's you showing them how good you are with it. If it's doing tactics, then you can, or leadership, then you would be showing them how to operate the range, and command a unit.
We could also, we could just tell them that, Reyna, we spoke with Dawnseeker Reyna, and she asked if we could show them a thing or two, since we're outsiders of we come from the Dawnseekers and whatnot.
I mean, that's an easily disprovable lie, so maybe best we avoid that for now. These people seem really zealous, and they might throw us out for blaspheming against one of their high seekers. I mean, I could just go over like the rifle and like show them like better stances and posture and stuff like that, and how to fire the rifle and stuff like that. Different positions, ways to assist using like a sling and stuff like that.
Okay.
Just like things that like it doesn't seem anything that he's picking out that they might be lacking out on from the generational decay of knowledge.
Sure. What's your intent also? Like, what are you trying to accomplish ultimately?
Mostly just trying to get a better understanding for how they operate and the way that their technology operates, but also trying to see if there's any like more information about the people that we can get that maybe out of like how they treat riflemanship and stuff like that.
All right, I lied. I looked at tactics. That's an example. You don't have to roll. You're good to go. Okay, so you're easily able to show them, like, and they're mesmerized that like this thing that they have kept alive for so long, you seem to know, and you even seem to know it at more thoroughly, right? So they'll tell you that they are preparing. These are their final checks, and they can show you manuals. They have paper, although, like maybe it's not necessarily made of wood, but they have books. And these books are from like the 900s and the 7, 8, 900s of the Third Imperium. So like that's what, 3 or 4 centuries ago.
Oh wow!
This was sort of the height of before the Golden Age of the Imperium. This was kind of when the Imperium really came together, and it has changed little in the past 300 or 400 years. The Imperial military, and you can't improve upon perfection, and so they've been teaching these basic fundamentals the same way, and you know it well. And they tell you that tomorrow they are marching to put an end to one of their enemies. That they have been betrayed by the people of Larstown. They say,
Wow.
You're not from Larstown, right? You're from off-world.
Correct. What great betrayal has Larstown performed?
They had entered a deal with us. Their leader was corrupt. She was slain, and we were supposed to enter a partnership so that many of the ailing people of Larstown would come and see the light be offered to the Dawn Seekers. But few were offered. We have no reason not to demand the full of what we're due.
Who? Go ahead.
I think we had the same question.
Yeah. Who was it that made the offer? Was it the previous mayor or someone else on her behalf or on their own behalf?
Some soldier that was a lackey of hers. He's taken over Larstown as far as we've heard, but
yeah,
he hasn't fulfilled his end of the deal, and so we are going to make sure that he does.
If it's any consolation, we did leave Larstown, but a handful of days ago, like 4 or 5 days ago, 6 days ago, something like that, and they seem very much in disarray following the sudden loss of their mayor. I'm sure if you just give them a little more time, they'll be able to
Maybe
recover.
A reminder.
Yeah, a reminder. You don't don't
have to escalate things to violence right away.
Exactly.
He raises a hand calmly and he says, I'm afraid that this is a holy order. We must fulfill this. This was given by Dawnseeker Oladore. In fact, he will lead us into glorious battle. So.
That was the storyteller that we saw with the little robot companion hovering over his shoulder, who was regaling people about a story of a great victory. Interesting. Okay, we'll kind of withdraw, and so the crew can talk with a little privacy.
How we feeling, gang?
I have a long-range radio. It should theoretically be able to reach Larstown, but if anyone is using it...
Do you guys really care about Larstown? Like, how... What?
If nothing else, that is our main way out of here back up to our ship, is we're gonna have to pass through that. Also, but there's plenty of innocent people there who I would like for not to be murdered. That'd be cool, but
probably, yeah.
They all seem like a bunch of scumbags, though. Like,
the doc doesn't seem too bad.
the doc is just a robot, okay? We can just repair it.
Yeah.
I like all those guys at the karaoke bar.
I don't think they're great people, but I don't think they deserve to, to have
be forced to
converse or the firepower at Larstown, like the defense force.
I mean, with or without warning, right? Like, if they have warning they're about to be like fully besieged, then they'll be able to muster more arms, I'm sure. But without, they have the entire all the deputies they have, and the current person in charge is part of was it a military kind of
MEF,
organization?
which
MEF,
yeah. Because Karth is a colony of Mani, so they might be able to call in backup afterwards if something were to start. Brooks, you heard a funny voice in your head when you had your little episode, and it wasn't the usual things that drive you into your weird behaviors. It seemed like it was something connected to what's going on around here. It sounded like a voice crying out for help or something. Am I getting that wrong?
No, it very much sounded like that. That was literally it.
I read that again. So
I wonder if the Dawn Seekers or someone else here has in captivity a creature, an entity, something with psionics that they're in some way exploiting, which is caused these sorts of things. Maybe that's where they draw whatever powers or resources they have at their own disposal.
Whatever control they have over the peasantry.
Exactly.
Sounds possible. We could do some digging around. See if we could hear any rumors or get.
Well, what if we go talk to Reyna? Like, if she wants us to go do this, could she at least answer a couple questions for us?
Yeah.
I feel like she's somebody that would be willing to barter information as long as it doesn't directly impact her in a negative way.
I got information to barter if she's willing to talk.
I say we go for it.
Okay. So you go back to the Dawn Guard to ask to speak with Dawnseeker Reyna?
Yes.
Okay. Back in here and very active, right? This place is on alert, about to march for war. And you see that combat armored, handsome, tall man again, speaking to the troops. And when you come in, several of the Dawn Guard turn, and he looks at you and he smiles and he says, "Ah, the outsiders."
Yeah, Dawnseeker Ladare. Nice to meet you. We saw you in passing 2 days ago. 3 days ago? 2 days ago? Two days ago?
Two of the Dawn Guard demand that you bow, but then he stops them. He says, No, it's fine. Please, I actually had hoped to speak to you. Do you have the time?
We were hoping to speak to someone as well. We can spare the moments.
We always have time for you. Trust us.
Please come with me. And he turns to his, like, obviously, like, kind of like a royal guard, and he's like, no. I'm safe. It's fine. And then go up the elevator, and he says, so. And he looks at, what kind of tattoos you got, Chapman? What you said you got tattoos. What kind of tattoos you got?
Hold up, I'm sure I have a random table for this somewhere.
Nice.
Dude, I'll get back to you in a moment.
Are any of them
Not a
are any of them like clear indications that you're from the Imperium, from the military, from the, you know, or is anybody wearing anything that would indicate that?
Well, you
definitely
guys,
would.
I mean, what do you think, Ross? Would Solomon still have part of his old uniform from the Hegemony Trade Federation?
You probably have it, but it seems like it would be quite the liability for Solomon in particular to wear. Although I'm not speaking of, in this case, Solomon doesn't even know what the Imperium is, because Solomon's from Nirvana sector. These other characters here are from far, far away, hundreds of light years away from this place.
That's true.
Would Niles, like Tarts and stuff like that, be some sort of like military, like army military regalia at all, or is it just like more of his kind of quirk?
I mean, you tell me. You know, like that's why would any of you all be wearing any kind of stuff, you know, from the past? Just need to check that. See what happens here.
He's got like a baseball cap, you know.
What'd you say about books?
Oh no, I said books wouldn't.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, that life is behind him.
All right, so nobody's displaying any obvious signs of your past. So
the most obvious thing I can think would be like a phrase that is used in the military that you might recognize, like "foobar."
Yeah. Right. Those are probably eternal, though. To be honest, that probably Solomon would know that just as well as anybody else. Okay, so Oladore, he says, you know, you all remind me of friends that I had a long time ago. But I couldn't help but see that you had a private audience. Asmud left with dear Reyna. Are you doing some work for the Spire?
We are. I'm sure you'd have to talk to.
Oh, no, of course. I wouldn't want to betray that confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Most certainly not. But I confess, we're at the dawn of battle. He, like, stares out of the...
We've heard.
You know, transparent steel windows out into the desert. And we'll march by foot across the weeks-long desert trek. One of our enemies do battle again on this blasted moon. And it's possible, though I think not, but it's possible I may come into mortal peril. If that happens, I wondered if, for good pay, you'd be interested in doing something for me, if I can return. The pay is good.
Listening.
I have some artifacts of my own from long ago. I love Reyna. And as time goes on, it feels that the threads that had brought us three together in this tower, they draw more thin. I want to offer Reyna a token to show her the truth, how I feel. This is something I've hidden from her for many years. and I know where you could find it. If you do that, I will give you an artifact.
Interesting.
Turns out it's at the same coordinates
Yeah.
as well.
Yep.
Let's give her some skooma.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, all right, who do we give which of the 5 people that want this one thing do we give it to?
No, it's nothing. I wouldn't do it. This one's not.
Oh,
It's weird, but it's not. It's not like that. I wouldn't do it.
What
It's not spice just yet.
I mean, if you march on the dawn, then any place we go would take time. Is this something that's located here, perhaps?
Actually, what I need is yes, it's on the planet's surface. I don't know if it's along your travels or not, but I just need a photo of a deed. I was once an artist, a long time ago, and I would like her to remember that, who we once were. There is a glorious statue, my own work. I can tell you the direction that it's in if you find it, and you can cleanse it from the muck of this desert world and allow its composite structure to gleam under this radioactive gas giant just for a while again. Take photo evidence of that and bring it back to me. I fear that this work of art that I made, it's ruined, like most things on this planet. But if it could be restored just a little to how it once was, it might remind her of former days.
How far away from here would we find this?
He will
So
point out one of the windows. I'm bringing up the map. Point to directly north. So
Same direction, right? Or general, like, 'cause the ruins we gotta go to are generally north as well, right? So remember, they were like kind of
So they were like east of
East.
Larstown, and we are
Right.
now southeast of Larstown. So,
Right.
but like I don't know how far in each of those directions they are.
True, yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
might be on the way.
What, or I'll let you look that up first.
well,
Sorry. I'm kind of curious if we might be able to get some info about these psionic attacks that we both had. Seems like somebody's trying to probe our minds.
Do y'all want to ask the Dawn Seeker about that then? Is this the
Yeah, where
person
we
that
can
we're
ask-
choosing to
Reina.
Okay. Yeah.
We might as well ask him, like, if he's one of the leaders too. It doesn't sound like there's one leader. This sounds kind of like a
Triumvirate.
yes.
I like that idea, especially if, like, we're gonna be doing stuff for him.
Mm-hmm.
He wants a romantic photo of a statue that he built.
he wants you to
After we
clean
get
it up first,
So,
then take a photo of it.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
we could do that. Like, that's easy enough.
Yeah,
Just
kinda-
like
If someone
Peter
has a
Dog.
camera.
Okay. So, toss it back over to Niall. Are you guys gonna ask him about the mind reading stuff, and if so, who? Or do you? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe lead into it with the kind of, I guess, attack that happened the day before, and like kind of like, hey, so we heard about this, and it kind of affected some of our own, stuff like that. It seems something's going on. Like,
You look solemn. I beg of you, outsider, that you take my counsel. There are enemies here of our people that we have contended with for a long time. Now, I'm glad to have your help. And obviously, you have earned Reyna's trust. But for your own sake, allow us to fight our worst enemies. I think they're beyond your reckoning for now.
You speak of your enemies, and we've spoken with some of your people, and they declare Larstown enemies. We've heard that there was an arrangement that you had with them, and that they have reneged on that, and that is why you march?
Larstown is not an enemy. This is all a misunderstanding.
But are you not leading an army against Larstown on the morrow?
Not against Larstown, but against its despotic controller. The previous family that ran Larstown did the best they could. When they established their colony here, they were unprepared. That's Lars, is the namesake of the town.
Damn Lars.
He perished to the sands. Whatever planet had sent a colony here did not resource or prepare them for Karth. We have been here much longer. And they have been struggling. And it seems to me that the previous leadership, the governor, lost control to a coup. It seems they killed her, and after this happened, this created a problem for us, because, as I said, there are far worse enemies on this planet than the MEF. So we sent an envoy to work out a deal. And we felt we'd come to an amicable arrangement. But by all indications, either they have no intention, based on our intelligence, of meeting their end of the deal and allowing us to live on this planet in peace and face our true enemies and ancient problems that long predated them. Or those enemies have also been speaking with them. Now, this is something that you don't understand. Forgive me, but we've been here for a very long time, and if those ancient enemies are influencing this new governor, you'll thank us for taking control of that town. There's no one else on this planet to deal with that threat. So, for all of us, I'm so sorry that you had to see that yesterday. But we're doing the best we can to confront the threats of this planet, and we have for a very long time.
Should we just do a Politrades with these guys and just go full dude?
Like, in what way?
That could mean
Well, I mean,
a lot of different things.
I know. I mean, I've only watched the movie, but Should we just join the Sand People and help them out? That deals with Larstown. We can get our ship. Like, we go in first, get our ship, and then bug out.
That's my thing. Like, I don't want to be tied down here, and like becoming, I don't know, god kings of a highly religious people feels like it'd be hard to kind of get away from.
I like the God Kings part, but I do want, I do like having freedom. So I want both, but I don't want bad things to happen to Larstown. I find them endearing.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to die. I mean,
We could have our own karaoke bar over here, like, if that's what you're worried about.
no.
So-
I don't know that these people are as open to such things.
Just want them all to be friends.
I'm sure the MEF probably are a bunch of dickheads, you know, very authoritarian military force and everything, probably not great, but like, I don't know, if this war is to happen, there will just be innocent bloodshed. That's how it'll happen. Like, there will be bystanders.
Can't
We're
we
gonna
just
get
drug
hurt.
everyone? Like, with all the...
Just drug everyone.
Yeah, seriously, like, all the soldiers, everybody, just get them really high with this, like, with the stuff we found, and...
Guma?
Aerosolize it.
At this Oladore, you know, like before you all start talking about this stuff, he simply, and he leaves you here on the second floor, and there's guards everywhere. He says, "Give it a thought. If you return with those images, then I will give you an artifact. Wish me well in the battle tomorrow." And he leaves. You notice he doesn't use any religious language.
Are we able to stop him and like say? Can I say one more thing to him before he leaves? So we understand that like you view this as necessary take, and I'm glad that you clarified that your purpose is against the despots in charge of Larstown, not the people themselves. They are a rough bunch. I'm sure that many of them would be deserving of whatever end may come to them, but we've spent some time among those people. They're not all bad. There is some charm to their desperate clinging up to life, and indeed there's people there that are trying to improve life for everyone. We've spoken with someone who wishes to help combat the radiation and the way that it has impacted the people of this planet. I would caution to be specific in the way that you levy your arms, lest you end up working against yourselves as well.
I see. And his little robot on his shoulder. Let me bring him back up.
No.
It brings out a hollow projection in the air of Larstown, and he says, "Can you?" He rotates it to where it's vertical. Can you point to where this is? And he's basically asking, where is this, medical place?
Going to cast a look among the crew of yeah, where is it? Should we?
I mean, I think we should be honest and just point it out.
Okay.
You do that? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel ill will from this guy. He seems like he's doing
We'll point there, and we'll point at the karaoke place.
He says,
Don't burn down our karaoke bar.
"Believe it or not, I used to be quite the singer myself." Well, anyways, though, this hospital, I'm glad that you pointed that out. You're right. Any indirect fire, hopefully the enemy forces will not try to use it as any kind of tactical strong point. But we'll do everything we can to preserve it to the benefit of the people of Larstown. Thank you for letting me know.
and I'm sure you seem to have a very accurate map, so you already know where the mayor's villa or whatever is.
Larstown has been here for probably 25 solar years or so.
Should we tell him about what we saw that one night?
Which thing?
The sand
If you-
kraken?
No, the people.
The slab, the gold, or the people who are hopping the fence, or
That.
I'm seeing a lot of weird things. Lawyers out in the desert.
Yeah, you gotta be a bit more specific, man.
Yeah, true. The people hopping the fence, those who possibly were did perform the assassination, right? Because we saw. I'm trying to remember. It was like 2 or 3 people. One of them was it a
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, so you
Yeah.
tell him about the guy hopping the fence.
yeah.
Okay. He says, I'll take a note of that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to leave.
Okay.
Parts and goes back down the elevator. There are 2 Dawn Guard that come up to you all, and they, because you've asked for an audience with Reyna, presumably, and they say, actually, it's the 2 Dawn Guard that you rescued. And they say, we apologize, but we have been told to provide you a message, and that we cannot go with you.
It's unfortunate considering part of the agreement for our returning you to your people was that we would receive accompaniment to the ruins to the north and guides.
We regret this, and we pray that the sun will forgive us for this. But it's not the operation that's occurring tomorrow that is keeping us from going. It's actually the orders of the Dawn Guard, or the Dawn Seeker herself. And that is the message we have to give. You see, she has said that she's unable to see you. And that this desert has many dangers, as you've seen. You should be fine in trying to obtain this technology from this facility. There are many people here on this planet, and they are not kind to us of the Spire. If we went with you, our Dawnseeker has revealed to us that we would likely be slain. In her mercy, she has asked that you not reveal your association with us.
Alright, so Books is gonna have to get a turtleneck or something, I guess.
Books could rock a turtleneck.
Tactical
It's a little
turtleneck.
warm out here in this desert for
Yeah.
No?
That is very well. No convincing that perhaps disguise could be used. But if we understand your reluctance to put ourselves in risk at your behest and what that would mean for the task we've been given, would you be able to provide navigational information?
As we said before, we have never been there.
Okay. Well,
she however did point, so I will mention that. She points to the northeast. Reyna did.
okay.
Up the map here. So
So we have that.
she pointed this away.
And
That's
in
ooh, that's far.
in the interests of securing our investment, would you be able to ask Dawnseeker Reyna if it'd be possible to procure some other form of compensation, perhaps monetary, that we would gladly receive upon our return?
In lieu of an old tech artifact?
No, for in lieu of the guides.
Or
They look at each other like terrified. If you require this, since we have failed in our oath, we will petition the Dawnseeker for credits.
If it would,
it is good for us to die in this way.
No, you don't have to die.
Yeah.
You don't have to die. That would be a terrible waste of your commitment, your talents, and your assets.
Yeah.
No such thing is needed at all.
Well,
no, knowing that.
Are you sure it's our honor to die for the Dawnseekers?
Yeah, but there are way more honorable ways to die. It'll be cooler. Like, just this would be lame.
Yeah. What price is a life in credits to your people?
Probably like 500.
250.
350. 350. Take it or leave it.
I say mostly because were we not already paid some amount? Like we were promised some money and the addition of not necessarily like escorts or guides, but like warriors is what they had said. Mostly, if we're traveling on the surface of the desert moon of Karth, we just need like provisions, like survival stuff, like things that'll help us when the next time one of our camel beetles starts sinking into the ground.
Yeah, that's probably fair.
Like sand tires for the camel beetles.
a tarp.
Like
Tarps.
Yeah, tarps. If we would load up on tarps, because like, we got that shiny red rock. Like, we've been paid pretty handsomely. We really don't want to squeeze you for anything more. It's just that, like,
Yeah.
you know, as long as we're in business together, as long as we're well resourced, that's really, I think, a reasonable thing we can all agree.
Yeah. So actually, they require no authorization for this, and they work to provide you to put on your beetle camels, ropes and tools and all sorts of ironworks that can be used to traverse crevasses and rope ladders and all kinds of stuff like that. And also, you have 2 weeks of rations each of perishable food. So you're kind of over rationed. The second week of rations will go bad at the end of the first week. But you think of it kind of like a backup, or maybe if you can find a way to preserve it. They are roasted circus beetles.
Circus.
How many kind of beetles? Well, we have a lot of beetles here on Earth, actually. I won't say anything.
I don't have
that sad clown.
I don't have a picture of it, but I think I can just show you. They look nice and squishy and like they look like that.
Oh.
And you got like a whole bunch of those loaded up to eat.
You guys remember that scene in The Lion King when they're eating all the bugs? And yeah.
That's what I was just about to say, yeah.
And it looked like way too good. Like they should have little kids watching that and getting ideas.
Yeah, it was
bugs.
appetizing in like a very strange way, though. It was like I felt
really good.
weird about it. Yeah,
I would learn later that those particular bugs are actually ideal for protein. I learned that in SEER school. So yeah, grubs. So you don't want to eat something with a carapace or with like you don't want to eat bugs that you have to like. You actually want the squishy, slimy ones because they don't carry disease. They're not disease vectors actually.
Oh.
You can just grab a bunch of grubs and eat them, and they're good for you.
I do know if you want to eat earthworms. Earthworms are a bit more troublesome, and you want to make sure that they are cooked and dead because earthworms can actually burrow within you.
I did not know that, but
God.
that does make
Okay.
sense. I mean, you know, that adds up, actually.
I hate this. God.
We didn't have to
Well,
go to space for these horrors.
Which is
I
fun
don't
because
want
there
to eat
was.
earthworms.
I mean, does anyone remember the book, like How to Eat Fried Worms or
That's
whatever
true.
it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that kind of popularized eating worms, and there was some problems from that.
Oh gosh.
Hmm.
Okay. Is there? So it is now the end of the day.
I would like to ask these two guys, don't kill yourselves before we leave.
Okay. Yeah. No.
Like-
They ask for the opportunity to beg for money from their gods, basically, and expect certain death as payment for their failed oaths, and you eventually convince them not to do that, and that would just not be cool. And so
Cool, bro.
it's at the end of the day on 170th. What would you all like to do? You want to head out, or do you want to stay around the spire and check out some of the more huts? They march off on the morning of 171.
Did we get an estimate on how many of these dudes are going to be marching out?
Like 30, 40 dudes.
So, like, most of the soldiers in the spire?
You're not sure, you know, but it looks like they had more than you saw initially.
This cult is pretty big. I would vote for just heading out. Besides sneaking
yeah.
about.
Honestly, their tech scares me more than the people. The people we could take, but when they're wearing power armor, using future tech, and who knows what other sort of, autonomous birds or whatever they might have
going on. Yeah, I'm good.
Or maybe do we want to like double back in a few days when they've marched out and are maybe less defended and take over?
I mean, that's what I think. That's where you're driving at, right? Asking about their numbers, if the majority have left, but they're concealing their numbers. Like we already underestimated how many there are.
Yeah,
they have
but
a
both
massive underground city kind of thing.
So both of those observations are true. That there were far more than you knew as far as these guards, and that that you see few guards now. You know that it, as far as you can tell, it's less guarded than it was.
And there are but 5 of us and 4 beetle camels. So even then, it's not great odds trying to take over.
We could try and get that sand kraken inside, or at least get it angry at the place. But there could be something in the spire that's away.
Yeah. It worked at Dune to use a.
That's exactly.
They also had
nukes.
Worm. They also had nukes.
True. True.
I don't know. Sandworms against nukes. I think the sandworms win.
Do we want to do the long-range radio and warn Larstown about what's coming?
Yes, I vote yes.
Yeah, for sure. They're
Do
good.
we?
Yes.
I vote yes.
Yeah, I don't want damage to the space elevator.
Yeah.
That's our way off.
Who do you call? Now, I'll give you a couple options here that I don't think this would have been clear, but you have Trask on the planet. I'll actually say Trask is in the ship. So what's going to happen is if you use your communicator, you're going to have to use like a high freak, bounce it off the atmosphere into low orbit at the spire.
Mm-hmm. Have that number of the karaoke bar.
Or you can do that. Like you can try what would you say, a low amplitude, like an AM wave kind of thing, and use the atmosphere and get a low quality signal that will go for a long distance on the planet.
Kinda.
Yes, and you can just search around until you get somebody that's talking, right? And then you can get on there and be like, hey, whether it's VH or whatever.
Well, we can warn Trask. That's pretty I mean, if he's on the ship, then that kind of handles a lot of our concern there. And then, do we want to just call Dr. Fahid?
And now I don't want to bury this. The downside to contacting Trask is that if anybody has the ability to intercept communications, they're much more likely to be able to intercept this one. Versus like you using something that can ride the atmosphere and then head to a radio somewhere. That, you know, maybe they'll intercept it, but that's just like less conspicuous. Does that make sense? You know, versus contacting a starship.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm not saying any of these are bad ideas. I just want to I'm going to share that information if possible.
What do y'all think?
Is there another way to get a message to them in time, like without sending like a signal?
Space pigeon?
Yeah, like something like that, or like if we have like a runner or somebody that like goes there and is able to tell them. Because I mean, if it gets, I know it's probably not that likely, but if it gets intercepted, we'd be like screwed. We wouldn't. It'd be potentially terrible for us.
It would just burn this contact.
Yeah, we could try to be as vague as possible.
Let's head out into the desert to go to those ruins or whatever. Maybe go take some pictures of a statue or whatever we end up deciding to do. And while we're out there, we can send a message.
That sounds good.
Okay, and you're gonna just
head start on that.
So let's start there then. It's the 171. It's the morning. This army marches off, and you are ready to set out with all your rations of circus beetle, roasted circus beetles, and your camel beetles. Where do you go now?
We know that we need to head northeast, so that will be our general heading. We're looking for a ruined city, a ruined settlement, something ruined. Right? Do we have any more information?
This wadi basically spirals out from the northwest to the southeast. I just want to point that out, and then forks to the northeast. And you know,
the map is like all black for me.
Oh, fix that.
Yeah, I can see that, but nothing around that.
The case with anybody?
You can see.
I mean, it's got fog of war, but I mean, I see where we're at the spire.
Yeah, you should be able to see a little ways outside the spire.
Yeah, there's a little bit of road this way, that way, kind of windy.
This is what I see.
For Foundry, I just refresh, and that usually fixes whatever is giving me problem at that moment. It's just a pain in the butt.
Well, either way, Theater of the Mind still works here. There aren't many details. It's mostly an endless, expansive desert. Except I'll give you, I can give you 3 features that you can see from where the spire is, and I have the visibility set to be all the way like 30 miles in the distance. So you can see out to the edge of your vision a wadi, like an ancient watercourse, long dried up, that goes from the northwest of the spire to the northeast, and then it forks, and part of it goes northeast and part of it goes southeast. So to the northeast is that kind of intersection, and there's some rocky outcroppings there. Far to the north, edge of your vision, you can see other rocky outcroppings. That is all that's out here. See where you are.
The rocky outcroppings are like elevated.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to steer towards that to get our bearings?
The ones to the northeast or the ones to the north?
Northeast.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So you're going to try to use the terrain and get up on top of it to see around farther?
Not higher than the highest point. But yes. Also, so the guards are marching on foot. Did they have any like camel beetles or anything like that? They were just going purely by foot.
They appear to be going by foot.
Okay, so regarding our call out, Dawnseeker Ulatare said that it would be like weeks for them, something like that. So we have the option potentially of waiting a little bit before sending a call so that there is less time between our call and whenever they arrive. Is that something that people would wish to do, or?
You're saying like delay the warning?
If we don't want, like, if there's risk of like being like intercepted or whatnot, yeah, I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
I feel we should get the warning as soon as we can. Give them enough time to prepare. Like,
there is potential
Also,
that the Silver Spire could intercept as well.
that is true.
do we know, Ross, do we know specifically what kind of technology allows for interception of messages like that and how it would work?
Yeah, of course. You are in the Imperial military, so any receiver can actively like if it's an active receiver and you're sending a message, it's possible that any other receiver might receive it unless you have something that is like a military grade that can actually encrypt. You know, I don't think that's what you have. So that's one way. The other way is for something to snoop, which would be, that would indicate some powerful tech. Now, of course, the Spire has powerful tech in some ways, and in other ways they're like, you know, wearing loincloth. So
Well, when we make a transmission, is it going in a straight line or is it just radiating outward in all directions and could be any receiver anywhere within a certain radius is going to pick up on it?
the second, to be a little reductive,
Why?
essentially the second one.
Yeah.
So.
Now, oh, go ahead.
If we're
Now, actually, let me back up here. This is a sci-fi game. You can, I will say that you can attempt to change that, and I'll make you a devil's bargain. So instead of it being like a regular, very high frequency omnidirectional thing, I will say that you can try to send a pulse, and that it can try to target a place. But there are two consequences to this, and it'll be an engineering check. So someone can make an engineering check to tweak a radio. It will take time. If you fail, you'll break the radio. And if you fail, it won't work and the message won't get there. So either somebody will have to use another radio and try again, or you know.
Do you guys want me to roll some dice
do some science on a radio?
Yeah,
Sure.
how good is your engineering, Baron Admiral Dr. Admiral Baron?
I'm also Chief Engineer, Dr. Admiral Baron.
I didn't have a convenient honorific for that. I don't know what title engineers tend to go by. It's not.
It's one of the
I got
doctor
an
things. He's
engineering
had multiple doctorates, so.
Oh, okay.
I got a +8 to my engineer, so yeah.
Oh my god.
As a bonus, yeah.
Yeah.
So you.
I
Yeah,
like this
here,
double bargain. I think it's a steal.
All right, you would have to roll. Solomon would have to roll a 2d6 to get an 8, and you can add your +8.
Okay.
Does he need to roll?
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's
I
fun
wanna
to say though. It's so ridiculous. How could you? No, I'll say there's one way to fail, because I'm changing the rules here, but I like this. This would mean if if I give you a roll and I say you can roll, but you make a 12, you automatically succeed. Most of the time you don't roll if it's something like that, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you get snake eyes, you automatically fail. is this a house rule that you are okay with? We could just say no. You'd say no, I don't want that.
Oh, I'm down with
I mean,
that.
already.
Actually,
is
I
fun.
I think it has to be the case sometimes.
You've already offered us this ad hoc devil's bargain anyway. Like, you set the rules for this. I say it's fair game. Let's make it interesting. Yeah, let's do a crit fail.
Yeah.
All I have to do is, I just have to get a 4, then.
You just have to
So-
get a 4. No, you just have to get a
3.
3. A 3. That's all you need.
Okay.
A 1 and a 2.
All right, let's see what we get, boys. Snake eyes, here we come. Make this more fun. 16 altogether.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he takes like multiple components from different things, and like not only are you able to do this, but you do not take extra time, and he's basically able to take the transmitter, and he's able to create a unidirectional transmitter on the spot. And he does it by bouncing it off another source and taking an opposite receiver, and then making sure, and he walks it in, and then he narrows that, and then he's able to create this like transmitter. He alters the transmitter on this radio. Yeah. So you're certain that you can get a message to a single source in Larstown now.
Cool.
There you go,
Yeah.
laddies.
Unless somebody has
Dude.
like, some what do you call it? What's the term? ISR snooping type stuff, where they're
Yeah.
like military grade things, and they can actually specifically try to find it.
Yeah. I mean, like, theoretically, like, they would have to interpose in the way of the transmission now, and then they'd be able to stoop. Otherwise,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I
But
mean,
we've already,
Yeah.
we've gone some distance away from the spire. Hopefully, the trajectory of our transmission won't intersect with the path of the marching army now.
so the easy thing is finding a frequency, given the utter magic that Chief Engineer Admiral Dr. Baron Solomon pulled off here. So you don't have to. You could basically, who are you trying to call, and what do you say?
Do we just want to call the dock, or do we want to just warn the entire city?
I would vote just warn whoever's in charge.
The people that like seized control.
Yeah,
Allegedly.
what was that? What was that guy's name? Who was over the marshal dude?
Marshal,
If we
yeah.
can-
Marshal Clark.
So do you send
Clark.
a message? You send a message to like the command post where you met the governor.
I would say we should like warn the authority first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know who else would be a good.
We don't want to incite mass panic in Mars.
All right,
And
you on via the.
should-
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask, should we also mention to them the reason why this is happening? Like,
Yes.
you allegedly owe them
Yes.
some converts.
Yeah.
Some,
you should make good
point
on
out to
your.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an option. Like, don't necessarily prepare for battle. Maybe,
Mm.
at your own discretion, prepare to give them some, I don't
Yeah.
know. What's the name of that guy that Grano? I'm sure Grano needs some religion in his life. Just hand him over.
I think we should like stress the fact that if they don't, like, there's a potential for a lot of bloodshed. Like, they're not messing around.
Yeah, I agree.
Try to
So
scare 'em.
we'll send them a message, and we'll basically like reinforce like there was an agreement that was made, and you have it would appear that you have reneged. Please make good on your agreement, or you are choosing to risk all of Larstown over greed, or something along those lines.
Kind of
But
makes
that's
it
not
sound
coming
like
from us.
first
Make it clear.
threatening them. Yeah.
Yeah, but we will
like
not
that. That's
sign.
not
We
us.
will not sign this transmission.
Okay, so yeah, so you're not revealing who you are. The first
Yeah.
thing you get through is there's somebody there, some sleepy person on CQ, and they're like, "Who is this? This is a prank," but you have literal geniuses in the group, so you're able to basically, give enough, to talk your way into, and you get, this is Marshal Clark. Who is this? Answer me. I will find you. Oh, you just tell him, and then you just leave it at that?
Yep, no response.
All right, it's clear that transmission goes dead, and then that frequency is just empty. There's nobody else on the net.
All right.
Dang.
That tells you also that they brought everyone else off that frequency. So if it was 21.5 or whatever before, they like clear 21.5, go somewhere else. 1, 2, 3, 4 or something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So
continue our march then.
Okay. Which
and if
direction
they all
do you
get
go?
massacred horribly by the Fremen, then we know that it's not our faults. We absolve
Our hands
ourselves
are
of
clean.
that.
Yeah.
Our minds
Yeah,
are
we did our
clear.
best.
So from where you are on top of these hills, you can see hills to the north, far off in the distance. It looks like these may have been structures once. Either that or they're very strange and tall shaped stones that look as if they've been torn off at the top. There are a series of hills far off to the northeast, and then this wadi goes up straight north from where you are into a valley.
Okay. So, what do y'all feel? Just head towards the other outcroppings, or which are to the north?
That's what
Are we generally heading still like in the same? Because we were going northeast. Are we still kind of in that same general direction that was pointed to us?
Actually, Ross, do we have a good view of things from where we're at now? Like, looking up ahead? I have directions written down that were originally given to us by Dr. Faid about where we would expect to find the ruins. Could I use what directions I had from Larstown's point of view and cross-reference them with our new point of view and see if I recognize any of those features? Does that make sense?
It's up to you.
Intersection, resection.
But if you tell me, in case I'm missing something, tell me what those features are, and I'll point it out if I see something like that. But because I don't.
We've been told. What I wrote down was 65-degree vector, 250 kilometers. Follow the ridgeline to the east, reach vertex where 2 mountains meet, and then go directly east, where we would find that ruined facility. And that was directions from the point of view of Larstown.
You see no mountains from where you are, so a mountain would probably you do see to the north. There's this either a structure or like a thin. I can't remember what those are called, but those really like kind of cylindrical stones. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
Butte?
A men here?
What did you say, Gus?
A butte? Is that
a butte? It's I don't know if you know. It's like
I don't know
maybe
if it's
400 feet across, but then it's like probably 100 or 200 feet tall, and maybe it is a butte as opposed to like a mesa.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, there's it's either one of those or it's a structure.
There's a tor. A tor is like a exposed rock, right?
So it's either one of those or some structure, and you can tell that the top has been taken off. So the thing about a mountain is it's got to be at least 1,000 feet tall, I think. Maybe it's 5. I think it's 1,000 feet tall. But anyways, nothing is that tall.
The referee.
Well, I mean, like literally, I think that's the definition of a mountain. I think is you have to have
anything below
relief.
that is just a hill.
Yeah,
a steep hill.
So no mountains from where you are.
All right.
There the directions we were given? How recent do we feel they might be? Because we know that there is a laser that likes to take a little bit off the top of stuff. So is it possible that the mountains are no more?
Oh jeez. I'm not looking on the scale of this map. That being what, 60 miles towards that. Yeah, I mean, the directions we were given, 250 kilometers is really far from Larstown.
Okay.
like relative to how far we are now. So like, it's got to be a ways away, like days and days away.
So should we veer more east then? Or I guess we should at least get a little bit more level with Larstown, right?
I guess so. The worst thing is that what I would normally say is we should go to Larstown and then go from there. Like we should stop at civilization along the way, and also that's where our directions are from. But that's about to be a war zone.
Yeah, we don't want to get stuck there.
I apologize. This should be in kilometers. It says miles, but I'm gonna fix that right.
Gotcha. That is helpful.
Yeah,
Especially
that's
'cause I had to pull out a
Not
computer.
kilometers.
there you go.
Or not miles. We should use the metric system.
This is the far future. It's just metric system all the way down now. Except
Even
you
in
have
the future,
imperial,
not
you have
more.
imperial ranks, but not
Yeah.
but everything's centimeters.
Oh, you mean they're not using like a base 20 system in the far future or something?
Well, it's Traveler. Don't we use like hexadecimal or something? Like,
all right. Now, where are we going?
Let's go. Let's still kind of steer northeast.
Northeast.
So
Okay.
northeast a little bit more.
So-
than
Yeah.
northeast.
Do you want to go toward these hills, or do you want to go further to the east, or?
Yeah, if nothing else, then they might be a chance of shelter.
You make it to it's nighttime, so you're not going to be able to see. I don't think anybody has night vision goggles, right?
Nope.
if only.
So
Sounds awesome.
Don't think that was allowed.
nighttime, lights shut off, and you probably just have to hunker down.
I've got a.
Getting to a planet where you
Light
can
lamp.
buy some military hardware is probably definitely a good idea.
Yeah.
But anyways, you make camp, and you're able to sleep in peace. And the gas giant rises the next day, and I'll describe what you can see from here. These outcroppings, they grow taller in places, and you can see where it does look like scorch marks and chunks of rocks taken off in places and stuff. But it doesn't look like this orbital laser is just perfect and just like manages to shave off everything off at a certain altitude. There is also a there is clearly what looks like a ship's graveyard. From where you are, you can see it off in the distance. It looks like either an ancient mothballed. Trying to remember what those are called when they put airplanes out in the desert. A boneyard.
Mm-hmm.
It's either a ship's boneyard or it's a ship's graveyard where a bunch of starships have crashed there. And then you see a ridgeline here that forms what is clearly a mountain range with one of its tops jagged like the edge of a harpoon. And then off on the other side of that ship's graveyard or boneyard is clearly a different ridgeline, including those irregular tall cylinders and then going off in the mountains. And this forms a valley in between them where the ship's graveyard is.
Do we want to check out the graveyard, or do we want to continue on to where it looks like it turns into a mountain range?
Well, it sounds like we've got two signs of mountain. One, what is it, here, and one over there. And we're expecting to find a ruined facility at a vertex where two mountains meet, or mountain ridges, maybe. So,
But we
by
still
my
have a ways
estimation,
to
I think,
travel, don't we?
yeah, I think so. But also, I'm down to check out.
You guys are doing great, by the way. Cool. And I hope you're not too irritated by I'm pretty hardcore about no, you're in an overland, good luck, and I just don't tell you anything. And so math, trigonometry, it's all good. You can use all of it, and notes, and you guys are great there. You're doing great at it.
With all else equal, also I like going to spaceship graveyard. Sounds like it could be cool. Could have cool stuff to salvage. Might just be a more secure place to shelter overnight in the desert anyway.
Is everybody else okay with that?
Spaceship graveyard.
It could also be a place where other things are sheltering. So
it's
putting that out
we
there.
shelter there, or the space kraken lives there. One or the other.
This area here, it forms a ridge line. Off in the distance, those two ridge lines begin to meet as the valley narrows and the two sets of mountains come in close together.
Well, that sounds like the intersection point that we're supposed to look for.
Now,
potentially.
You, in the meantime, by nightfall, make it. This graveyard.
Ooh.
Happens. Private.
Space vultures. I knew it.
The undead rise. Space magics.
Space rust monsters.
Oh god.
Jump space ghost.
Oh god.
Would our vac suits be susceptible to a rust monster? Because then I'd be very afraid.
The metal in the vac suit, yeah.
I guess so.
And all of our weapons, I'm assuming.
Is it ferrous metal?
You're covered by rolling dunes in a broad valley are a series of starships. Now, the scorch marks on the side of them, the carbon scoring and the gouges and the burnt and slagged metal, long since rusted over. It's clear to you that that's a ship's battery, although more than likely, this was the orbital laser. It seems like all of these ships, though, crashed here in the same place. And it looks to you that there are probably 10 different ships here. It is nighttime as well.
Are all the noses of the ships faced in one particular direction?
Yeah.
Good question, and to your genius mind that is aeronautical and space engineer and astrophysicist and doctor and everything else, yes, it looks like probably these ships were attempting to enter and dock into the atmosphere or a low port or something in a similar way, and they all deorbited in a catastrophic fashion, all similarly.
They've been pitched black.
What yeah. Are we able to recognize any of the ship makes and stuff like that, and maybe see how old they are?
Symbology.
Excellent question.
Sunburst.
You indeed.
Maybe 400 years old, maybe.
Yeah, you absolutely recognize the outlines of Imperial technology. That these ships are the same venerable construction that has existed for the past century or two and been updated. These are the Imperial free traders, fat traders, 400 tons, merchant vessels. This is the stuff you would have found back in charted space.
This may be where our friends at Silver Spire came from.
Ooh, their origin story. Should we just go check it out then and see what's in there?
I mean, it is dark. We do need to a bunker somewhere. So yeah, we should at least head inside. We may honestly, if we can find a place that's seems safe enough, then we could maybe spend a day exploring this.
Yeah.
Seeing if there's anything worth salvage.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Are
you
gonna?
Else got flashlights?
Are you gonna try to camp inside of a ship or outside of the ships?
Well, we need a place where we can rope the beetles, right?
Let's try to find the small ship, something that we can do a quick look through it, full sweep through it as fast as possible to make sure there's nothing alive in there. And we'll just make that into a little bunker. Unless there are no tiny ships.
I've got a cold light lantern. That's my light source.
Ooh, nice.
So there are 10 ships here, and you said you're looking for a smaller one?
Yes.
Okay. Of the 10 ships, perhaps the smallest one... Lord have mercy, this will break the campaign. I'm gonna do it though. I don't care. We're here.
Is it intact?
And does it have a jump 6 drive? Like,
Right. You know, that's the thing. We've been pretty mudcore in Traveler, but they have stuff like jump 6 drives. You know, like in the Galaxy. So, I'm looking for the smallest one. Here we go. This is the smallest. You find an upended, small 4-seater chromed private shuttle. In fact, it appears, apart from it being up on its side, that you think if it had had its avionics reworked, and it had its engines flushed, and the tanks flushed, and had a good NDI check on it, this thing is probably mostly reparable.
It would be nice to have a
free
shuttle.
Is that something we can do on the spot?
If you had the parts and the time, which you do not have the parts.
Ross, compared to the
there's a whole ship
dry,
graveyard.
does this look harder or easier than repairing the high and dry?
You just need the parts and the time. It is harder than the high and dry, but you do have a whole ship's graveyard to try to scavenge from.
Secondary problem.
Engineer.
Getting this out of atmosphere would be a potential death sentence.
You can, I don't know, like.
Do we know about the orbital lasers if they're one way?
Or
Like
both ways?
They attack anything that goes too high above the planet's surface, like the Sky Funeral.
So
Just,
inbound
like,
and
get it up
outbound?
Yeah. It's both
Okay.
ways. If we get this up and running, could we just go get it like certified, like get this thing licensed at the nearest authority? Just be like, hey, we purchased this lawfully somewhere on the planet, and we would just like to exit through the atmosphere.
More so than that, like never mind purchasing it. There's an ancient law that dates back thousands of years. That it's finders keepers. It's called salvage rights.
Maybe we could give it to the Raven Guard or whatever they're called to stop them from attacking. We could say
no, this is ours.
We can say
Glenn's like, no.
They gave it to you instead of the believers. They wanted to give you this wonderful ship instead.
From where you are, I lied. There's 11 ships because it turns out that this cluster of ships guards
one ship.
It guards the visibility of a ship in the center, and this ship in the center also looks like it's not entirely unrepairable, and it has tarps and tents coming off of it. And the flicker of campfire lights outside.
Man, let's go look at that one, you guys.
Do we want to look at that now, or do we want to wait till morning?
No, we have the element of surprise on our side. I would say we go look.
Just as you're saying that, you hear a voice right next to you, Solomon. It says, "Hello there." And there's a man sitting there. He looked like he was a piece of junk, but he's not. He's wearing it, though, like as something to shield his head from the sun, from the gas giant. And his face is covered. It's like one of those, like, I don't remember what those are called, those kind of hats. But it's like a piece of starship junk instead. And then and his hands, you can't see much of his flesh. Just the bottom part of his jawline. He says, "You all came from Karth, haven't you?" I'm sorry, you all have come from Larstown, haven't you?
Not directly.
been there.
No.
You've been to Larstown? Oh, what I wouldn't give if I could only make it to that mayor's house. I've just heard so much.
What did the mayor do to you?
No, the architecture. Beautiful house. No, I would never hurt the mayor. Why, she just seems like such a wonderful woman. I would never hurt her.
She seemed quite sincere.
Very lovely woman.
Oh, you've met her?
Yes, we're friends, in fact.
You're friends with the mayor? He
Yeah.
seems like really intensely interested.
Yeah, we came out here on a favor for her as a friend, and we were looking to bring her back a ship if we can get one repaired.
I could maybe give you. I could make a trade. You could take me to her. You could introduce me to her.
Could I turn on the Rubik's Cube that we got?
You could
with
totally
Truth
turn on the
Telling?
Rubik's Cube, but you have to make it in the open. He has to see it, and it has to be like 10 inches
A
away
foot
or whatever.
Yeah.
But you could totally do that.
Do you guys?
We'll just
Should we
say this is a token that she gave us to see if people are trustworthy. She's very powerful, you know. I mean, you've seen the house she lives in.
Yes,
Like that. Of course, she's.
from a distance, of course, but I would love to see the interior. I just imagine the interior is beautiful.
So I'm pretending that we're presenting our Rubik's Cube as though it's a credential of our connection to her, but actually, it's just so that we can get a quick chance to.
Let's see here. Glows red, clearly indicating mistruth. He is lying.
Oh, well,
I mean,
what kind of?
he can't be
what
that
can you
big, a
trade?
connoisseur of architecture. He lives in a boat, like.
With a piece of starship junk for a hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What were you asking?
Oh, I was just gonna say, what? Since he doesn't know what this means, what could you trade us to go see the mayor and her lovely house?
I have something in my bag, but I have something better than that. Give you what's in my bag, but I'll tell you where something very valuable is. But I'll only tell you if you can get me to her house.
Well, if you tell us, we can get you to her house. You know, we can't just bring anybody in. We gotta prove your worth to her, the lady, to her grace, before we can bring you back. That's how it works.
Action roll here. Get an 8. He says, I tell you what. I'll give you what's in my bag so you know that you can trust me. And then like the thing like glows red, you know. And then when you take me there, then I'll tell you about this other thing.
Nobody reach into the bag with your own hand. There's a scorpion in there.
I'd like to ask him if there anybody. We saw a bunch of tarps and a campfire. How many other people are in this settlement?
He reaches into his bag, pulls out.
Niall pulls his rifle out.
He like was like, whoa, you know, when you do that, you pull a rifle on him. He like raises his hand, and it's this beautiful black Stetson. Felt, flawless, clean. It's a cowboy hat, black felt. It's absolutely flawless.
Oh man, Solomon's eyes lights up.
It's gotta outrank Captain, doesn't it?
But it's a black hat.
Exactly, it matches Solomon's cowboy getup. He's wearing all black.
So you have a rook on his holster.
Of course, for his shotgun.
Or
too.
no, it was the knight pawn or the knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Niall will lower his rifle.
Well, someone want to take it?
Solomon will take it. I really want that hat.
Take it. See, I told you could trust me. Now, if you could just take me to her manor, I'll tell you where even better things are. And then just beneath the track, like you can see in the... Somebody said they had like a lantern or something, is that
Yeah.
right? In the lantern lights, it's hard to tell in the lantern light, but then there's a bit of a shadow. His skin is just kind of bluish.
Perhaps we don't happen to recognize his face or anything, do we?
No.
Turns out it's what's his name that we busted out of jail and he got husked by the alien.
No, we'd recognize him. I was worried it was like Lars or something.
Yeah, I was thinking Lars too.
It's
I was
old
like,
Lars. It's been out here the
Did you
whole
guys
time.
kill Lars?
No, he was last seen like heading out into the desert, right? And that was it.
He was eaten by a sand squid.
Ah, that's what it was.
Oh man.
That's Paul Atreides becomes the prophet, the blind prophet.
Yeah, we'll be heading that way in the morning. It's too late to travel right now.
Well, alrighty. I'll just be right here then. He lowers his hat. Go quiet. Alright, what do y'all do next?
Definitely sleep in shifts.
Yeah.
You sleep.
He snuck right up on us. I don't know if that'll even be enough.
The sun rises the next day and he just doesn't move the whole time. And then he gets up and he's got like the thing where you can't see, like where he's got his arms in his sleeves, got the piece of starship junk just like down over his face. He's like, all right, time to head to Larstown. Can't wait to see that architecture.
All right.
All right.
That'll be right this way. And start heading northeast.
Right. So you guys are gonna leave the junkyard?
We can always come back for it later, right?
Yeah, on the way back or something.
Okay. I was curious to see if it had any like information about this AI stuff that I found, but
Wait,
Oh,
have you
okay.
mentioned that before?
no.
Do you say that in character?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
gonna tell him like, guys.
So for the people that weren't in the previous campaign, when someone says, "Well, found this AI stuff," that'd be like saying, "Well, I found this plutonium rod in my backyard." You know, it'd be like saying, "I have a nuclear weapon." I don't, FBI. To be clear, I don't. I do not. YouTube.
Or do we?
No. But anyways, in Traveler, it's the same. It'd be like saying you have like a bioterror weapon or something to say that you know about an AI. Anyways.
Yeah, I got back. Solomon will explain that during his last mission before retirement, that they pulled him out of retirement to do, he encountered some kind of like infectious like hardware that took over troops and were basically, if he wasn't able to stop it, his invasion of Orem would have been lost. And he kind of just gives him the short story of why he's not in the Navy anymore, and it was due to this. He has this data chip that he wants to investigate and maybe try and clear his name.
That's on the Lucky Yo, by the way. Or it's on you.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you can pick. Neither one is good.
I think I'd rather keep it on me.
Oh, that makes sense.
Ross, did Glenn already have some epic level awesome traveler campaign to rival that of what that Andrew and I had?
Yes, but it was his character creation. And I did
No,
not.
that's not fair. That's not fair.
It's not fair. Traveler is
We
deeply
worked for
unfair.
it.
Most of, if I
That
recall,
story.
if I recall, Books just got booted out of the Marine Corps like after one term at the age of 19 or something like that.
Yeah.
After After I think 2 of his previous characters died during creation.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember.
Glenn just kept. Oh,
was
sorry, go.
terrible.
I mean, you think Bellamy's cool because he got a free trader. Like, Glenn just kept going and going. He went on to almost 7 terms. He's like in his 50s.
I get that.
He commanded
But this
fleets and
whole-
like.
This whole epic war involving this AI and the threat of taking people over and all that stuff. Like, we need to do that one session at a time, you know?
Very true.
It's so unfair.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't against an AI. It was the Hegemony Trade Federation Corpo War against the, I think it was the Empire or something.
You don't get to have that many proper nouns in your backstory, alright? I didn't even know the name of the planet I grew up on. That's how vague it's supposed to be.
Even the factions have like 3 names. Like 3 titles.
Well, you asked me what the corporation I was with, right? It was the Trade Federation, okay? We had battle droids.
The point is, you have a thing.
I have a thing, and it's really valuable, and could also kill us. Maybe, if we find.
And you haven't just destroyed the thing.
For
Put it
this,
out
so I can just give it to somebody.
We're sitting,
Solomon wants to clear his name. That's the main reason why he's out here.
we're sitting on this amazing glowy red rock, and potentially a free ship right here. We could just pawn all of these off to some other unlucky dumbasses, and then make so much money.
Plus that thing in the mine.
We're gonna
that,
destroy my
Niles
setting again.
refusing to-
I'm gonna destroy another one. I'm gonna have to draw up another sector, like with pencil and paper.
What is as we're kind of traveling and like having this bit of discourse, what is conical hat guy doing?
Yeah, you guys have been talking about like this AI super weapon and how it's on you in your pockets. He's just walking along. Maybe you forgot about him, and then he's like, "My name's Astorm, by the way."
It's nice to meet you, S. Storm. I'm Admiral Stans.
Never heard of you.
That's good. That's good. As Solomon just pats his shotgun.
So why haven't you been to the manor before?
It's a long walk. Made it
is a
halfway
long
there.
walk. Halfway from where?
Oh, I got a little place out on the other side of this ridge. It's lonely out there. And with that, you said you go to the northeast?
Yep.
Okay. Oh boy.
Oh.
Uh-oh, who did we lose?
Oh no.
Glenn,
Yep.
Humanist tech issues.
Oh. You hear, so you're walking through this valley, and you can see in the break in the mountains what looks like a structure that would have been, on a city, on a nice planet. Now, for most of you, for the better part of a decade, you haven't seen a place like that. Maybe Rylanor City itself. But like a futuristic high-tech kind of building.
Mm-hmm.
And you see where the 2 mountain ranges narrow here. And you've got like a narrow defile going between the 2 ranges. And then you hear faint flapping noises and some chittering along the sand.
Things. Oh,
It's along the sand. Yeah, flapping. Flap, 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 flap. And then you see like a trail of the sand like go pop, 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 like with the sand like coming up and then moving and then disappearing.
Is there any rocks nearby big enough for camel beetles?
I can't believe Glenn watched that movie. Glenn, you're a young man, Glenn. You should not know about this movie.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. I love it. I've watched all of them, even the new ones that were dropped to video. Okay.
Wow.
I can't even say I watched all the new
impressive.
ones.
Yeah, that's something. That's something. That's awesome, though. That's like I'm impressed. I mean,
I love them, especially Tremors 3.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a TV show like a Tremors?
The Wild
TV
Western one? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, where it's the same guy who's like it's like his ancestor. It's the same actor.
I like
I love
that
the
was Tremors
first
3. That was
Tremors.
Wild West.
I love it, but how does it have franchise potential? How much world building could there be?
You don't
like,
need world building.
capitalizes-
The only scene I remember from Tremors is the one, and I don't even remember which one it was. It's the one where there were preppers. There were like 80s style preppers, and they like the Tremor monster
was
came through the wall, and
Tremors
they just like
Yeah.
kept taking guns off the wall and
handing
shooting
him
it.
guns, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Okay,
so
Ross,
That was
silly.
Tremors
Like,
2. That
there's-
was
Tremors
Tremors 2
the
because
first one.
they knew that.
That's... Ross, when's the last time you saw Tremors 1?
It's been a long time. Kevin Bacon,
Should,
though, right?
Because
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it.
And Reba McEntire.
I think
Yeah.
it's a strong contender for one of the most D&D movies of all time. Like, obviously not in
Yes.
the genre of setting, but like the way that events play out, that characters make decisions, they discuss problems. It's very like problem-solving focused
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
When the
Speaking of which,
Tremors
are we about to
coming
get
for
attacked?
Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, all
is
the-
out the cliff.
Oh, sorry. All
Amazing.
of a sudden you hear like screeching noises and things start jumping out of the sand and like tackling you all. And now I'll roll a d6 for surprise.
All right.
Don't get us killed.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
You're not surprised.
Books is in the middle of recounting this amazing scene from this ancient movie from Earth That Was, when all of a sudden we get gobbled up by worms.
These
we're
are
just-
the sand. What are these things called? They're these things, but they're alive. And they tackle you and they
circus.
grab your face and stuff, and they tackle you to the ground. And I'm gonna see how many of them can pin you to the ground. So this one's gonna be against Books. Fails.
No,
Chapman. Nat 12. Chapman, you are pinned to the ground and unable to act the next round. Now, fails. Gus. Fails. Trask. Not here. Solomon. Okay. Solomon, I'm going to let you roll under your strength. Put Trask down.
Gosh.
Ross, did
My
you say these are
strength,
circus
okay.
beetles?
Circus beetles.
Okay, I have notes when we previously were told about wildlife threats, but all I have for this was just that we were told to kill them on sight, which is not super helpful.
All right.
I got a 6.
All right. Is that under your strength?
Yes.
Awesome. You're able to like pull this thing off, throw it onto the ground, and all right. Let's go around the table. Books, what do you do?
I'm gonna go try to help Chapman.
You're gonna try to
So,
rip it off Chapman's face.
Yeah.
Okay, roll under your strength.
Not the face hugger.
Awesome. You rip it off your friend's face, throw it onto the ground. This will allow Chapman to act this round because he's free.
I feel like vomiting for my turn.
You vomit. There you go. But you can do more than that. You can also do other.
Okay. Yeah, I light it up with my rifle.
Okay, everybody, you start shooting. All right. Roll to hit. So you got 8, and then you can add whatever bonuses you have. You got it. Okay. How much damage?
Damage.
There are 10 of
16.
16. The Books comes by, rips this thing off your face, throws it onto the ground. You whip out your rifle. You crack it open at its belly, and it separates it into 2. You can kill one of 10 of these things.
Then I vomit.
Then you vomit. Now, what do you do?
The broadsword comes out of his sheath. And he's going to start hacking at him.
All right.
It's just 2d6, right?
Yep. And then it's 8, and then you can add all your bonuses.
So that is 6 total plus. Are they at short range or close range?
Close, because you got to move up to close and then hit. I mean, you're moving to it, so you can go to whatever range you want.
Yeah, I'm looking at like how I recorded before. For some reason I have like a -8 at close range and a +3 at short.
Let's do short.
Sure.
Yeah, I think it's because like close means it's on your face. Actually, this came up during the campaign. I remember that, but it was something about that. Anyways, yeah.
Okay. So yeah, then it's a +3 to that. So, and then, so that I think is a hit, right?
Yeah, you can also add your broadsword bonus, whatever that is.
That is a +1, I think.
So +4.
Yeah.
Anyways, that hits, and you can roll 4d6s.
Yeah.
$17. You skewer one of these things. You're down to 8. Let's see. Gus, what do you do?
I am going to swing my cutlass. And let's see. Hold on. No, wait.
That misses. Solomon, what do you do?
At least I didn't
Solomon's gonna grab a shotgun out, and was there anybody else pinned to the ground by these trimmers? These
No.
graboids? No. All right. I'm just gonna start blasting at the nearest graboid.
Okay.
It's a shotgun, so I think I get a bonus of +2 at close range.
Yep. Roll. Let's just roll 2d6 and see first. You get an 8, and yeah, you get your bonuses if you miss. See how it goes.
All right. Oh, I got a 9.
There you go. So, all right. And you roll for damage. I think it's 3d6s.
4d6.
Ah, okay.
All right. 9. 9. No. 17 points of damage.
You crack open another one of these things. Half of their number have died. The rest flee off into the desert, squealing and running away.
Nice.
And
All right.
you make it to this kind of connection of these two places. You can see in the between the gaps in the mountains this facility off in the distance, and that's where you make camp for the night, and that's where we'll end the adventure for the night.